Cooking requires confidence, guesswork, and improv to hearts, experimentation and substitution, dealing with failure and uncertainty in a creative way. With this, I welcome you to our topic, methods of cooking. Let's look at cooking techniques. Cooking, as we know, is the art of preparing food for consumption with the use of heat. Cooking techniques and ingredients vary widely across the world, reflecting unique environments, economics, culture, and tradition and trades. The way that cooking takes place also depends on the skill and type of training of an individual cook. Choice of cooking method. You know that the preparation of many food involves the application of heat in a certain ways. The choice of cooking method to be used will be influenced by the following. The first one is the type of food being cooked. Various food require different methods of cooking. For example, cake are baked, while moi moi is steamed. Next one is amount of preparation. The third one is facility available. Facility available for cooking, for instance, an oven is required for what? For baking. Time available. Some methods of cooking requires longer time and attention than others. And finally, needs of an individual. The age and the health of people or the person to eat the food. For instance, children and sick person need foods that are cooked by the most easier digested method, such as steaming and boiling. So you can see that the following facts affect the choice of cooking food. Classifications of cooking method. There are many different methods in which to cook food. Method of cooking are classified according to how heat is applied. This method can be broken down into two categories. The first one is most cooking method, and the second one is dry cooking method. The most cooking method is when it is applied through the medium of liquid. Under this category, we can find steaming, boiling, stewing, and frying. The dry method of cooking is when heat is applied directly to food. Under this category, we have baking, roasting, and grilling. Each of these methods use heat to affect food in a different way. Understanding and mastering the different types of cooking method is essential to becoming a great chef or home cook. It allows you to work with a varieties of ingredients and kitchen equipment to achieve consistent and favorable results in your cooking. Types of cooking method. Confused about cooking method because of the various type of cooking method we have? We are going to look at some common method of cooking instead of you sticking to just one or two method. It is a great way to spice up your usual mealtime routine. Let's find out the different types of cooking method. You can pick one that works for your recipe. The type of cooking method we are looking include the following. We have boiling, steaming, stewing, frying, baking, roasting, and grilling. Join me as we look into them one after the other. Boiling method of cooking. Boiling is a method of cooking in boiling water. The boiling water in the pot cooks the food. The fire heats the pot and the heat makes the water to boil continuously until the food is cooked. The food is cooked when it is soft. Example, beans, corn, and rice. Advantages of boiling method. Boiling is a fairly quick method of cooking and is a simple one. Boiling does not require consistent attention. Boiling makes food easy to digest. Disadvantages of boiling method. It allows the loss of nutrients. Boiled food often look unattractive. Vitamin B and C are usually destroyed. Steaming as a method of cooking. Steaming is a method of cooking using moisture to cook food. In this method, the food to be cooked is either wrapped in leaves or put in a smaller container. The leaves or the containers are not expected to touch the boiling water. A steamer can be used where there are two pots are not available. You can make use of a clips of wood can be used to raise the food container up from touching the water in the pots. Steamed food is cooked when it is set, that is when it becomes firm or solid. Example of food that are cooked by steaming are moi moi, fresh fish, corn pudding, egg custard. Advantages of steaming method. There is no lost nutrient as it is conservative method of cooking. Steaming render food light in texture, delicate in flavor, and very digestible. Therefore, it is suitable for children. In steaming also, there is less risk of overcooking. Disadvantages of steaming method. Steaming method is slow method of cooking. Steamed dishes are sometimes unattractive in appearance unless skill is used in dishing up and garnishing it. Prolonged cooking destroys some of the valuable nutrients in steaming method. Stewing method of cooking. This is a method of cooking with a little amount of water in a covered pot. The heat should not be high and it should continue to cook gently. Stewing is suitable for tough cut of meats. It is also suitable for a method for cooking for children meals because the cooked food will easily be digested. Example of food that are prepared using stewing method, we have melon soup, ogbono soup, and vegetable stew. Advantages of stewing. It makes the food tender and more digestible. It does not need constant attention. All nutrients are conserved. It is an excellent method of cooking tough cuts of meats. Disadvantages of stewing method. It is very slow method of cooking and vitamin C is destroyed during the cooking. Frying as a method of cooking. Frying is a method of cooking food in a hot oil. It is a quick method of cooking food, but it is not suitable for cooking tough meats. Food for children and sick people should be fried occasionally. We have two types of frying, deep frying and shallow frying. In this method of frying, that is the deep frying, a lot of oil is put in the pot so that when the food is out to cook, it is completely in oil. The food does not touch the bottom of the saucepan. We have akara, that is a beans cake, we have donuts, we have egg roll. Shallow frying. Shallow frying is when the small quantity of oil is required. Example, we have egg, pancake can be cooked using this method. Advantages of frying. Frying is a quick method of cooking. Fried food is very appetizing and tasty. Frying introduces variety in the meal. Disadvantages. Fried foods are difficult to digest. Nutrients can be lost. It is not an economical method and it requires more attention. Baking method of cooking. Baking is a method of cooking with a dry heat. Food that can be baked includes cake, bread, biscuits, and pastry, such as sausage roll, meat pie. The oven is an enclosed space either built on its own or enclosed in a cooker. The food is prepared and placed in the oven to bake within a regulated time. Advantages of baking. It is economized fuel as more than one dish can be cooked at the same time. It requires no water or liquid for cooking. It requires little attention for good results. And finally, food cooked by baking are appetizing because of their attractive appearance. Disadvantages of baking. If the attention it requires is not available, food might be burnt. It is expensive to heat the oven and therefore wasteful to bake only one dish. It requires a lot of skill. It is an expensive method of cooking. A poor family may not be able to afford the equipment. Roasting. Roasting as a method of cooking of food. Roasting is a slow cooking process using indirect diffuse heat to cook its ingredients. It is a dry heat cooking method where hot air surrounds the food and cook. The heat can also be derived from an open flame, an oven, or another heat source. Advantages of roasting. Flavor is improved. It is a quicker method of cooking and it makes food look appetizing. Disadvantages of frying. It requires constant attention and loss of nutrients can occur. Grilling method of cooking. Grilling is a method of cooking using direct heat. Grilling it tends to be used for cooking meat and vegetable quickly. It is a far better way to cook food and it allows the fat in the food to drain away. Advantages of grilling. Grilling is very quick method of cooking. Grilled food are easier to digest than fried food. It is conservative method of cooking and grilled food are appetizing and tasty. Disadvantages. Grilling is only suitable for small tender pieces of food. Grilling needs careful attention and grilling also needs skill to be able to do well. Wow, what an interesting class. Hope you learned a lot. Know that there are many different and easy ways to cook that you can use. Once you master this cooking in the kitchen, it will become easier and more enjoyable. Learning different methods allows you to be more knowledgeable and creative with food. Whichever method you choose to cook, you will need to practice them under adult supervision. Trying every method will allow you to determine which one you prefer. You need to use different method for different food And then half of the challenges is discovering which ones suit which foods and which one you prefer. Remember, cooking helps you to develop confidence and skill naturally in the kitchen. It also helps your family to a healthy habit that can last a lifetime. See you in our next class. Keep learning. Bye.